may have taken me over a month to finish this book, but that is only because there is one character who does not stop yapping. I'm looking at you, Van Helsing. I recently finished Dracula by Bram Stoker, and I do have some mixed thoughts on this book. I definitely went into this novel with higher expectations, thinking it was going to be a 5-star read for me, one of my favorite books of all time. It came out as a 3.5-star read for me, and there are several reasons why. I do think it's hard to critique a classic like Dracula just because it was based in that time. It was written in 1897. It's obviously incredibly impactful in terms of vampires, in terms of gothic novels, horror novels, everything we have today. The prose of this book is beautiful. The writing is beautiful. There were definitely passages I took note of. There are some ways the characters describe love, and it's on a whole new level that I don't think you could write today. It is just so well done. The imagery in this novel is beautiful. I think it helped that I was listening to like gothic horror sound during the book. You definitely feel like you're in the environment of a gothic horror story, and there are some parts that are a little bit spooky, a little scary. Although this book is also really funny because it's so over dramatic. It's also written in an epistolary format, which means it's in letter formats, which to me I loved because it was unreliable narrators on top of unreliable narrators. However, this book could have been 200 pages. It's 420 pages. Could have tapped out at 200. It is wildly over repetitive, and I do think that's the nature of classics, but I think you should critique that. There are monologues by certain characters in the story that go on without indents, without breaks, for 4 pages, and they're not saying anything. And in the story, nothing is happening. They're kind of just planning what's going to happen in the next 100 pages. Also, there is like no Dracula in this book, and maybe I should have known that before going in. That could have been my problem, but there is no Dracula in this story. He is in it for maybe 70 pages. I'm not going to give away the ending, obviously, but I did not love it. And when I closed the book, I was like, okay, what are we doing here? I think it's the nature of the time, but the way some of the men talk about the female characters in this book, I was not really a fan of. It was a little borderline obsessive. I went into this book thinking that I would care for Dracula, and because of the way it's written, he's super paper villain to me, and I didn't care for him at all. Maybe took out my emotional attachment of the book, and you guys know I gotta be emotionally attached to these books. Overall, though, I think this is a book I could probably reread and pick up on a lot more things just because there's a lot said that maybe you don't notice the first time. I also think this should be a mandatory read for everyone. Even if you don't love it like I didn't, it inspired so many novels we have today. And I think it's really important to just read this. And it's spooky. Don't you want to feel scared and spooked out? Thank God I don't have to read another 4-page monologue though. Oh my God.